All right, the recording is on. We're good. All right, it's in the chat. Raf, what are you saying? Got a trifecta this week? Surprise I'm trading. Raf. I think we talked about this before with some of the other guys. You got good momentum. That's not the time to stop. You got to press it. It's when you got a losing streak. That's when you got to stop and take a break and get perspective. You're doing a good thing or getting good results and you got a good rhythm. Keep the rhythm going. Why would you end the song? I mean, all of Led Zeppelin's best music were 8 and 10-minute long songs, right? Get into a good rhythm. Just let it flow.
Avi, from calendar perspective, there are a few news at 10. Last night, Meta and Microsoft had a good earning. And tonight, Apple and Amazon is going to have earning.
All right. So all the Mag 7 stuff is happening this week. And you're saying, let's look at this. 9:45, there's something today.
10. At 10, there is 10 manufacturing. 10. Job, I think it's
9:45 too, there is another one.
Yeah, okay, 9:45 and then 10.
Yeah. The 2-star and 3-stars, I think, is at 10.
Yes, I see it. 10, and then we're clear. All right. 9:45, that's a troublesome one. Because, I mean, my thinking is, well, recently has been, just because I'm sizing up and getting into SPY, to try and avoid the new stuff. But realistically, I've been observing it for a while. As long as I'm not in it in the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes even approaching the news, then it's all right. So, get an entry in the first 10 minutes and the news comes at 10 o'clock. Still have 15 minutes or so, or even 20 minutes to let it run. Give it a chance to go. So I've been thinking more and more about those sorts of things. Yesterday was one of those examples, but I've looked at plenty of looked at back testing that. And that's what I found so far. So with the news, basically, you want to be careful always. But again, if there's good setups, you must take it. That's also a big piece of my trade book. That's probably the biggest piece of it. You have to take the good setup if it comes. If the news gets in the way, well, make sure you're not in the way of the news, which is get out 10 minutes before the news or something like that. Anyways, today we have 9:45, which is just too early because I sit out the first 4 or 5 minutes anyway. And then again, just 15 minutes to 10 o'clock. So it's beyond 10 that I'll look at trading. Meanwhile, what is a little not so nice is that my levels are just very close together today, the 8 a.m. candle. So let's see how things move around. You might want to skip a level or two if you get into a position. But you got to really watch the price action. It's not a lot of move. It's barely $2 between levels. Anyways, that's that. And today, guys, we've got our candlelight session at 11. I think I'm going to call it candlelight. It'll be nicer. And what we have, for those of you who didn't see the Discord, we got a forum up near the top of our Discord where whatever questions you want to talk about during our candlelight sessions, put it in there. That'll be easy to find for all of us when we're doing the session. That'll be later today at 11. Again, this week we're doing it at 11 because I did a webinar on Tuesday. Otherwise, our sessions are every Tuesday at 11. And I've got 1 or 2 announcements as well for a little later today. We won't talk about that before trading, but as we get towards the end of this session, I'll bring a couple of things out for you guys. Somebody remind me, please. I forget all kinds of stuff. But there's 2 announcements I got for you.
Got it.
Thank you. All right.
Is it good or bad?
It's always good. If there's something bad, I'm not going to bring it to you. It's always good. Come on. What kind of mindset is that?
You're having another kid. He's buying a plane. That's what it is.
Oh, shit. Airplanes, kids. Oh, fuck. I just came from a school visit this morning, a school tour. I might have a couple more kids. I don't know about it. I don't even know. That's the stuff you find out when it's too late, right? What do we got here? Vinay, the candlestick session. It's not candlestick, it's candlelight. Get your candles, light it up, we'll talk. Candlelight session, yeah, I'll put a new link out after this session. So we'll end this at 10:30, 30-minute break, and then we'll get into that at 11. And that'll be a new Google link, different recordings.
Avi, and the Tesla and Apple seems to be messy. Can you please take a look? And also, but I think NVIDIA and AMD maybe. Can you please analyze those when you
Sure,
have a
wow.
chance?
Sure. Sorry, yeah, we have a few minutes. I didn't even think about the market yet. Okay, Tesla first. These lines are in the wrong place. Well, okay, remove. Where's 8 a.m. right there? It's time to wake up and pay attention. So we're looking at Tesla. I got the levels right about there. What are you thinking here? Yeah, yesterday was messy. Zoom out a bit. Pushed up. Messy range. Broke down already. In this area, I don't see a setup anyways already for now in the pre-market. I don't see much happening, except maybe a breakdown of this area. So if it pushes up, it's probably going to open around 280 or so. If it rejects 282 at the open, you might have a short. It's tricky. How's the activity around here? It could be tricky. I wouldn't trust it. It would basically also be the rejection of previous day's low. No, not really. It's a tricky area. I just be careful. You can see how tricky it's been. You know, right up in here. Further out, I would think more about going long later. If it approaches here, go on up. But also if it approaches down here, 275, and you get a setup going down, because you can see that's when it, you know, a little smoother action. You'll have to deal with the low of a couple days ago. It's close to that target anyway, further down. And it's clean in this area. But up in this area, you can see it's just been tricky. I'd rather wait for it. Down below 275 would make sense, as in it'd be a trade to manage, or easier to manage kind of trade. But yeah, let's see how things shape up. Again, that's just for this style of trading. If you're scalping, that's another world. You can just watch it and go. What were the other ones? NVIDIA, you said? NVIDIA. Okay, let's look at this. Where do we have? Whoa. What's that? Okay. Wow. Very strong. Oh, was this earnings yesterday? What happened to NVIDIA overnight? Anyone know? I have no idea what this is. This is interesting. Let's put that there. All right, so pushed up, consolidation. You can see the consolidation on the top side. That looks like it could be a good breakout later, or maybe even close to the open. If it breaks out, off you go. The downside is tricky. It already did a bit of a false breakout. It's strong, man. This thing is strong. Because you see that? Pushed up, pull back, go. Pull back, go. Pull back. What do you think is going to happen next? Go. I'd be interested for a breakout. 114.50 for the next level up. Again, that could happen at the open pretty quickly. Or it could chop around, sell off at first, and then push up 15 minutes after the open, 30 minutes after the open, something like that.
Yeah, Avi, it wasn't earnings. They had positive AI commentary, and also Meta and Microsoft in their earnings report mentioned NVIDIA, so that's what's pushing them.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, same ideas. All of them look like they could break out to the upside. Microsoft here. Let's say Amazon. Amazon's tricky. The hell with Amazon. But again, if it breaks out 192 zone, off you go. It's clean up there. Once you get down in here, I mean, this is all garbage. It could easily all drop. I don't know. But as far as setups are concerned and trades that are easy to hold on to without, diluting your position is concerned, the longs look all right. What was the other one you mentioned? NVIDIA, Amazon we looked at. Sorry, I lost you.
NVIDIA and AMD. NVIDIA and AMD.
AMD, these are old levels. Where are my levels here? Let's put it on. And look at that daytime candles, almost exactly where it's been. It's funny how market makers play a game. Anyways, well, it's a bit wide. Okay, something like that. Yeah, same thing. If it gets up to the top. AMD on the downside is interesting, but I mean, realistically, it's just strong pullback, made new highs, and not giving you a reversal pattern. I don't see this as a double top. I'd be careful going short on any of these. What's interesting on AMD, take a look. If it comes down here and it starts to bounce off of this area, it's bouncing off of this previous consolidation. You could call it a reversal on a 1 minute, bounce off a 97 or so. But bigger perspective, this is a consolidation, call this a false breakout, which led to a breakout on the other side, which if it comes in, bounces off, that's just a retest of a breakout that happened yesterday. And then you got a big one. And don't forget, retests tend to run further and faster well, not faster, but definitely further than breakouts. So there's something to keep an eye on for, I think, later. It could just, easily go as well. But if it goes down, I'd look at that. And maybe a short setup here. You might want to break down. Let me think. It's consolidating right now. Breakdown going through. That's also a valid idea, I think. At the open, maybe an ORB going down would make some sense. The setup is there. You want to be careful with this low here, especially at the open. It could just come down there and push up right away. You don't know. So if you're really getting in early, I'd partial out or de-risk at 98.50 before continuing. So I think there's a few interesting things going on here. So breakout to the upside, above 100, breakdown to the downside, below 100, below 99, and then that big one, that retest if it happens at 97. Two different things to think about.
Avi, what do you think of Meta?
I don't like talking about my ex-girlfriend, man. You know that. You're asking about that shit. All right, let me put some levels on this. Where is 8 a.m.? Let's see, which one is 8 a.m.? This one, right? Yeah. No, that's 8:30. That's 8 a.m. I wish I didn't dump her. Look, she's looking good right now. But yeah, consolidation. The breakout just happened. If it comes back, bounces off. That's interesting. It's choppy though. I mean, look at this. But listen, it's all overall strong. This is all strong. I wouldn't even think about anything short on this. So the breakout happened. It could come back and bounce. Be careful though. You have this 590 zone, a bit of resistance there. I don't go long up here. No way. I don't see a consolidation. Nowhere here. So the only thing I would think about at the open is bounce off of that pre-market breakout area. There you go. All right, guys, less than a minute to the open. Once again, the market is a gold mine. Don't forget that. Take it easy, wait for your setups, and then let it rip. What did we say about news? 9:45, right? 9:45 and 10. Damn it. I just can't take it because I can't trade the first 4 or 5 minutes. Then the news comes out 10 minutes after that and then 15 minutes after that. So it's just too much risk. Anyways, 10 o'clock. Be on 10 o'clock if there's something we'll look at. What do you want to look at the open? 20 seconds to go. Meta's interesting. Amazon, AMD. I think AMD is the most interesting. There's multiple potential setups. Let's look at the 1 minute here. Oof, that's tough. Oof. I don't know. Could just easily break out, retest, and go. But let's have a look at this. A couple seconds to go, guys. Whoa, man. Super jumpy. Super volatile. Whoa. Tesla on the other screen. All right, there's a breakdown. 99. Very hard to trust. There we go. Brave souls who took this short already. Who caught AMD, huh? It's that short we were talking about. I think it's very hard, but if you caught it, great.
I think the one that I bought after market yesterday, they want to sell it at the market open.
Nah, you bought it after market? AMD?
No, I didn't. I'm saying that in general. I'm saying that the people who bought after market yesterday, they want to sell it now.
That could be it. Yeah, a lot of times that happens. You have a big gap up, leads to a sell-off up front, then new buyers come in. That's the fallen angel setup. And if it reclaims its own price, boom, it's a ripper on the upside. Those are perfect 5-minute ORB setups. I really like those ones there. They're a lot of fun. But let's see. Don't really know. The setup is good on both sides. I mean, for short here or a long up there. What's a SPY doing? Yeah, freaking disaster. Cannot trade this thing at the open. Again, I don't like the open for at least the first 5 minutes or so, just because, you just cannot put on a real size, or at least I cannot put on the kind of size I wanted because the candles are so big. And stops have to be on the other side of these candles. And yeah, they're just jumpy. Again, it's a matter of risk management, but it settles down pretty quick. What is it, 5 minutes? 5 minutes is nothing. There you go. Let's see, AMD sitting there. What else is good? NVIDIA, not a whole lot of fun. SPY now breaking down. Ooh, weak. Super weak. Oh, man. I should have shorted that. Anyways, the SPY has a good setup as well. Kind of hard to see things as being really weak for the day, but again, don't jump to conclusions. Nvidia now, ORB going up. Who's catching that? Here it is. See that? That's a high over there. A genuine breakout of that would be good. But again, this is all ORB stuff, right? And you can see how hard it is to trade. There's good reasons not to trade it. Actually, the ORB was earlier, I would say, in the second minute right there. That break. It broke there, but then you can see how quickly it smashed out. Now it's going up again. Really complicated stuff. Tesla is on the move. Ooh, Tesla. That's a better piece of action right there. Look at that. Very strong, bounce off the level and go. But again, look at this. These candles are massive. How do you trade stuff like this? I mean, I used to. The risk is too high. What else are we looking at? Ratchet and Kyle looking at Apple. Oh, yeah. I mean, look at these. Every single thing I see now has put massive wicks on second or third candles so far, which is scary. We have Nvidia on new highs, Tesla ripping. I don't know if you can catch this stuff. Apple looks not as attractive as a lot of the other stuff at the moment. But those wicks on both sides, that's scary. Anyways, I think Tesla's been the cleanest so far. Again, if it goes, breaks out, bounces off, if you can catch this stuff, if you know how to catch it, you already made a lot of money. But I find it very risky and unreliable. 30-minute, oh man, yeah, it's scary up here. I struggle to think of this as a consolidation and then a breakout. I really do. And down here, you're kind of going into, difficulty. Anyways, I'm not trading it, but it's nothing that I would trade anyway. SPY looks good now for that drop. Here it goes. It's been all choppy, weak, new lows. So looking weak. Consolidated here, ready for the breakdown. Going into this. This is okay. It's not that choppy. It's okay. Anyways, not trading it until 10. Oof. Nvidia is turning into a disaster, huh? Let's look at a few more things. We can put AMD on this chart. We can put Tesla here. We can watch multiple things. AMD, that's interesting. We have the rejection pushed down. Very interesting. SPY is really messy, but it looks weak. You got a lower high on AMD. So interesting, you would be encouraged for a short. It did break down at first, pushed up, maybe a rejection, but I mean, it's not all clean, but it's there. Tesla again, ABCD doing it again, new high. I mean, if you're trading purely 1 minute ORB stuff, this is it, man. That's what's all happening. 1 minute patterns. On Tesla, it's happening nicely compared to everything else, compared to anything else. You might be interested in an Nvidia short around here, but it's messy. You're watching Nvidia. See that? Went up, pushed down. Break the lows would be interesting for that short 5 minute ORB. Let's see. Did make a low, not really. There it is now. Is it going? Yeah, that's it. Catch that. Catch those breakouts. So Nvidia short. AMD looking weak, but AMD's tough. Oof. So it's been 6, coming up to 7 minutes now, and it's still jumpier than usual. Everything is jumpier than usual. At least what I call normal.
Hey, Avi, what's the setup for NVIDIA, please?
If anything, You get that echo thing. It would be a break of the low here. So it made a low, it pushed up. You might have considered an ORB down, but you might, I think more realistically, an ORB going downwards here rather than up. But it did break out and put in this hammer, so now it's very, very complicated. If you got that little ORB, you might have been stopped out. You might still be in it. I don't know, but this is scary stuff. As this candle was going down, it looked good with momentum going down, but it got pushed up quick. So there's buyers down there. Now you really want to consider the break down there on 1250. Those buyers are really there. AMD is an easier setup to read. Breakdown, test area, and off it goes. That's a bit easier to read for the short. This is all complicated as in it's not ideal. It's all ORB or rather, what do you call it? Opening volatility, opening momentum. Not stuff that I typically like anymore. So even if you get good at these, and your winners are typically 2R, if you're really good at it, and that's still with like a 40% win rate, I mean, that's if you're good at it. Tell me if that makes money to you. I always struggle to make money with that. See AMD break the low there. There it is. AMD did. There's the low broken. AMD setup was easier to read. This is just tough. Got Tesla here. Got like that echo on your neck again. You need a headset or something. Tesla here. One leg up, consolidate. Second leg up. Don't plan for a third. That's a pretty good rule of thumb. There you go. AMD. Who caught AMD? I think that was a good setup. NVIDIA as well, but it's tough to read NVIDIA, especially after that hammer. That would mess you up. It's working, but after that that hammer down there, that would be tough to read. What else? I don't see much else that's worth it.
So that very small bullish hammer will invalidate the downtrend.
On NVIDIA,
Yeah.
until it negates the hammer, which is it makes a new low, but at that point you're entering down here. And how far is it from your moving averages and VWAP down there? If you're trading momentum, you need those momentum indicators, which are moving averages, EMAs and stuff. You want to be careful with it. Just got to be careful. Target's down there. That was a good clean break for a moment, but then the buyers were just there. But now it's interesting. Hopefully it keeps going. See, and this looks good. Look at AMD. It broke that low, and it's gone back up and tested it. 98.50. That's the previous low. And that's healthy price action. Breakout, retest, and go. Retests all happen very quickly at the open. So if you're in a short, this might be a place where you add some for that continued move. Again, this is all reading momentum. All momentum stuff. Making a mess of itself. You guys take a look at this. This is interesting. Let's look at a 30-minute on the SPY here. So what you have here is the consolidation. So far, you had a breakout and looks like a false breakout. So if this truly is a false breakout, as in the price goes up into the range, it sets up for a good breakout on the other side a little later. So zoom in on the 1 minute, what you're able to see here is it came down. It's all choppy and messy. You don't want to touch it. But it made a low here. So far, looks like a higher low. That's all encouraging to tell us that the bulls are coming into the market so far. Let's see. Looks like it may. Let's see if that, as long as it makes a low above there, it's okay. Otherwise, it's on the way down. If this turns into a false breakout, the whole point is the breakout on the other side is going to be quite good. So these are things to watch out for, to look for. Again, it's all from the Wyckoff theory. NVIDIA is still rocking. Yeah. Again, NVIDIA broke that and tested where, not exactly that one, but that one there, that wick coming down. Yeah. This is interesting on AMD. Now we have the bulls coming into the market. Didn't quite get to 98, huh? Making a bit of a new high. This is going to get messy for you shorts. This is where I would start thinking about exiting after the close of this big candle. I mean, this is all very hyperactive trading if you're doing all this. End up just paying more in commissions than doing anything else. What am I looking at? Shane, no RVR on NVIDIA. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's hard to get RVR. That's why it's better to sit out most of this garbage. Unless you get a good setup, which I mean you do. Yesterday we saw some good ones at the open. Today, generally it's been tough, I think. AMD and maybe Tesla have been okay.
Hey, Avi,
Mm-hmm.
would you say then that it's after, if you trade before 10 a.m., you're more of a momentum trader and it's easier to make money after 10 a.m. or?
Your mic cut out there, but yeah, I think if you really want to consistently trade the first 5 minutes or even the first 10 minutes, 15 a lot of days, you've got to really get good at reading the momentum. You just got to know that you're entering with momentum and you must exit when the momentum's not there anymore or it starts to slow down even. And then add back in if it shows itself again. You know, you've got to get great at that stuff. As you can see, what you're dealing with here today, this is it's a little more volatile than usual, I think, but you're going to deal with this very, very often. And if your trading is the first 30 minutes, well, you better get good at this. Otherwise, stay the hell away from it. You know, it's hard to put big risk on this stuff. You got to put small risk, wide stop, and then still RVR becomes a problem. You really burn yourself out mentally more than anything else. So be careful with that. And then afterwards, not even necessarily 10 a.m., but at some point you'll see the behavior of the market change. You don't know what time, but sometimes it's after 10 minutes. Sometimes it's after 3 hours. You just don't know. And you'll see the behavior change. You'll see the candles get smaller. You'll see patterns kind of showing themselves on bigger time frames. 30 minutes is what I like to look at. 1 minute's just become chopped and messy. So you don't really look at it anyway. And then you can focus more on going level to level or picking up trends or picking up big reversals or picking up big breakouts, like on bigger time frame breakouts.
Like what you didn't say, as a beginner, it's better to focus your efforts on after 15 minutes, or?
I think as a beginner, you got to show up every day. That's the first thing. And pay attention to the first 15 minutes to learn it, as in observe it. The more you observe it, the more you get a feel for what it is. And definitely don't interact with it in the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Give yourself a 15-minute rule to start with. You know, the first maybe 2 years of trading. And you'll save yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think that's great advice, Avi, the 15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we all know, right? We've all blown up in the first 15 minutes so many times. So, yeah. I just don't want to blow up anymore. I'm done with that. I'd rather be able to put on some real risk when the setup is really good and then let it run. This is interesting on Tesla. You see that? This curved bottom down here. It's a good looking ABCD pattern. I haven't seen one of these in a while. Very interesting. The tricky part is the entry. Where do you enter? Maybe when it breaks
Bookmap
down.
is very bullish as well. Tesla.
Tesla bookmap on Tesla? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. Let's have a look
It
at
seems they are looking for 300. I'm not saying it's gonna go, but it seems that
yeah.
they're putting it for 300 today.
Nice. Well, it's got this area to get through, 293-ish. Once it's really out of this, then we have a good run. Then it gets smoother. There you go. There's a full bullish candle. Look at that. The high and the close are in the same place. The new 1 minute high would typically be my entry with a stop below it. If you're aggressive, you put the stop right below the level. Anticipating that breakout, then add more at the breakout, add more at the retest, and keep going. Oh, AMD getting up there again. An odd kind of fallen angel pattern is what it looks like now. Did it gap up? Yeah, big gap up. So the fallen angel thing. AMD for a breakout to the upside is looking interesting. It could happen. Again, the opening price is the key, and the high over here. Oh wait, the news came out right? A minute ago. Nothing really happened. I didn't even notice. But anyways, the SPY is a disaster. I don't even see a setup on it, even if I was trading it right now. Here, I'll show it to you. Here goes AMD. Watch for that breakout. Could happen soon. Look at this. How do you trade this stuff? There's nothing in it. But that false breakout to the downside looks like did happen. It gets up there, consolidates and goes. That's where I'm interested. Actually, it's already done that consolidation, so it gets up there. Boom. Hopefully that happens a little after 10 a.m. We can get into it. The troublesome part is the move is not, I don't know, it's just up. It's not as big. The levels are not so big. Anyways, we'll watch it. Watch and see.
I know SPY is not a clean double bottom, but just want to get your opinion on SPY. What do you think of the SPY?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, watch AMD, guys, for a moment.
Okay.
It's very interesting. This is an area you'd be interested as an ORB trader. Big fallen angel setup, gapped up. This is the kind of trade that Andrew takes a lot. I used to take this a lot as a ORB. Very high conviction kind of trade. Gap up, push down first, and then off it goes. Again, the sellers from swing trading and all are selling, and off it goes. And then new buyers came in. Boom, there it goes. Breakout. Double bottom here on the SPY. There's just not enough of a gap in between. So I wouldn't take it as a reversal. So it's come down and it does this double bottom. I won't go reverse it. No way. Because it should have a nice arch in it. You know, like you got the space here. You see the bottom and then this next bottom, because the bottom should be higher. But the nice clean space in it, you don't get that here. You can hardly breathe in between these candles, you know. You want the space like this. Then it's a really good one. You'll get them on 1 minute and 5 minute charts. You get them quite often. Middle of the day, maybe. Well, there you go. Somebody catch AMD now. We had AMD for a good setup going short if you scalped it. And looks like a decent setup going long. This is a cup and handle setup happening now on Tesla. Oh man, this is just it's perfect out of textbooks. Tesla looking good today. First you had an ABCD 3-bar play. Now you're getting a cup and handle. As long as it makes a new high or keeps making new highs, this thing is pretty valid. I mean, I don't trade this stuff. I never did in day trading. I do it in weekly charts, which is something else. So this is kind of rare to see. Let's see if it really comes around. All right, we got, 10 minutes or so to the next piece of news. And then we'll see. What have we got? All right, you got the news is that what happened, final 50.2. So nothing changed in the news, huh? As in everything's as expected. Oh, there you go, Shane. That's a really good point. You're feeling itchy today because you haven't taken a trade in a couple of days. And you're still sitting out even with that itch. That's great. Now you're beginning to trust yourself, right? And once you really earn your own trust, whoa, you start working on a different dimension. You can really wait for it. When a good one comes, man, really take it. That's really where the breakthroughs happen. Good stuff, man. You got this. Stay in the game. Keep doing what you're doing. It's good. The results are right around the corner. Okay, AMD, pull down, retesting the breakout area. This wick and this wick, this whole area right there. And I went a bit deeper. Let's see. Tesla still holding up that zone. Very interesting. Let's see. SPY has a similar setup to AMD. Again, SPY is always messy. Nope, AMD doesn't want to do it, huh? Not right now. That's SPY. Shit, look at that thing. See how jumpy the SPY is? I mean, it's this kind of behavior on the SPY. I just feel like it's not unusual. It behaves like this all the time. Now, if other tickers behave like the SPY is behaving, then that's unusual. But the SPY is always misbehaving. You gotta have respect for that. Otherwise, it'll eat you up. An interesting hammer there on Tesla. Let's see, it holds above that low. That's interesting. Not really. Not really. Yeah. Ugh. Nothing wants to go, huh? Check the order book now, guys. You probably have it starting to clear out with the news coming at 10. Awesome, Shane. You're welcome, man. You're trusting yourself now and your strategy. That's the key. Strategy is not a difficult thing to trust, but you got to learn to trust yourself to execute the strategy. That's That's the real key. Good work, man. Oh man, look at this. SPY ripping upwards. Tesla still sitting there, still holding there. That's so interesting. Cup and handle setups, huh? Very powerful setup. Morning. How are you doing today?
Fine, thanks.
Mhm.
How about you? So you are not taking trade anymore in the morning?
At the moment, no, not today because the news is coming out. And even if I was, I don't see a setup I would have taken. I still have to wait for it to get to the next level. So yeah, there's nothing in my trade book at the moment. Hopefully there will be.
Well, last week, my strategy that I actually trade with is not actually working very well. So what do you recommend me to do about that?
Is the strategy not working, or is your execution of the strategy not working?
Well, the execution is like I failed to take profit because it was too quick move.
So it's your execution that's not working. Don't change the strategy. You gotta work on your execution. So replay trading is really good. Go into the replay mode in Trading Terminal and practice your execution. Stick to your strategy. Don't go chopping and changing it every time you have a couple of losers. That doesn't make sense. But practice your execution. I think that's the key. Get better at understanding, just get better at being precise. Being more precise with what's really going on. Stay sharp on it. The best way to do that is repetition. And with the replay mode, you can repeat that 100 times a day. I've done that for years, just repeating myself all the time. And that's how you build instincts, right? It starts with discipline. You do it long enough, it turns into instinct. And then you're in a good place.
It was working very well. But all of a sudden in the morning, that's just more of the choppiness.
It's not that it was working very well. Perhaps you were working well, now you're not. As in, that's your execution side of things, right? Your ability to hit the button at the right time, the right button at the right time. Everything that goes in behind that, all the emotional stuff. So that's what you got to practice, I think. Strategies, you don't need to chop and change too much. You really don't. Most people don't. They're fairly simple. They're mostly the same, really. So I think you should think about that. And just because the market's choppy doesn't mean you go and change everything around. If you find the market choppy and not conducive to your strategy, then stay out and wait till you identify that the market is now ready for your strategy, or providing better probabilities for your strategy, if that's a part of your strategy. I think it's really more execution, really. It usually is, which comes down to psychology, usually. I'd recommend thinking about those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, about 4 or 5 minutes to the news. Let's see. So now I don't think Tesla's doing that cup and handle. It had that rounded bottom, but this handle is just way too long. Doesn't look like a cup and handle anymore, right? Now it's just chop. Earlier it was interesting. The genuine new highs would have been good entries. Didn't happen.
I've got a question about SPY options. When you're buying in the money, right? And one thing I've been trying to figure out is how far deep in the money do you go? I mean, if SPY is at like 560, do you go at like 559, 558? Just trying to gauge, what's a good entry, right? And to give it a little bit of breathing room as well. Any thoughts on that?
Just go with the next level down. So for example, if you're entering here, let's say it's 560.50, for example, right about here, you're going long, you buy the 560 calls. If you go too far out, by the time it goes to your target, you won't have any liquidity in it to get out. That becomes a problem. So you don't want to deal with that, right? That for me at least, that becomes a problem. You don't really need to go that far out. What you want to think more about is you have your entry, you have your stop, and you have your target. If you're thinking really about in the money, you don't want the contract to go through the strike. Well, you don't want the underlying, the SPY here in this case, to go through the strike. Because as it goes through the strike price, let's say 560, that's when the contract is going to get jumpy, right? And by the time you stop out, it's going to be 2R loss compared to the 1R you planned for, because the contract is accelerated against you. So let's say you enter here where it is now and your stop is just here. 560 is not in your range, right? It's beyond your stop. You'll be all right. Stop out above 560. That's if you plan to trade that way. Right? Think of it in those terms as far as in the money is concerned. And then, of course, don't go too far out because you might find liquidity issues. I've seen that in other tickers, in SPY, not so much. Yeah, so think about those sorts of things. Kind of go one level in the money. You know, you got the contracts here, just go one. So where is it? If it's telling me here, so this line here where the color change happens, yellow and blue, that's where it's at the money. So if I'm going long, I go in the money, so that's just one level. If I'm going short, I go in the money at 561 right there. Let's say I'm taking a short right here, 561 is the next one. So I'll take the 561 contract, my stop. Let's say if I'm entering with my stops down here, no big deal with 561. It'll just go. If it stops me, it doesn't interact with the strike price. It just goes where it hits the stop. So I think of it in those terms. You don't want to interact with the strike price. And then don't go too far away from it. You okay?
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yep. No problem. What a disaster of an open. How did this? Other than AMD, it made a decent move. Threatened to break out, didn't happen. Tesla's okay up front. Apple a little bit. Just, you don't want to get chopped up, go trade today. This is not fun. What are we looking at? Apple return to the opening price. It could. There's nowhere it's gonna go. Right now everything's a mess. There's no patterns. Things are just moving up and down without setups. If you're getting involved in something that's moving just because it's moving, anyone know what we call that? Well, you all have heard it 100 times. What is that called? You get into something that's moving just because it's moving. Yeah, gambling is one word to say. Yeah, what else? There's many words we have. Chasing, there you go. Thanks, Mark. FOMO, yes, that's it. Omar, FOMO, yeah, and that's it, guys. You're dealing with this stuff. Gambling, FOMO, chasing. If that's what you're doing, I'd say walk away right now. Yeah, monkey brain. Just walk away, go sort your shit out, like, get your shit together, and then come back. It's in your head. It's not the strategy that's the problem. It's you the problem. The trader is the problem. So you want to think about that. I see absolutely nothing. SPY again, up and down and up and down. How the hell do you trade this thing? So there comes the news. That's interesting. A short here at the news will be interesting. I'm going to get ready for the short. 560-ish. Whoa, look at that thing. Pop right on that news. Okay, patterns are broken. Let it go. This is why you don't play with the news. Look at this thing. It's like having the open all over again. Everything's jumpy. But the setup down here for a short is something I'd be interested in. If it really goes, comes back, retests, it might take a few minutes, but let's see. And I'm going to put a 30-minute chart on the other screen. Yeah, next level down, and even a long further. Ooh, there's something going on there. But let's see what happens here with the news. Yeah, the Q is probably doing the same thing. Yeah, all right, that's right. This is what you want to avoid. Stay away from it. When this happens, give it a few minutes to settle down, and then let's see if there is a pattern.
So, Avi, when we have news like this and then the market jumps up and down, that's pretty much nullifying all of our setups, right? And then we're just starting again?
That's how I see it. As far as candlestick setups are concerned, candlestick patterns, they're basically, the patterns are broken. But there's other things. If you have different trading styles, you can trade based on the order book and the order flow and the tape. In that case, you would thrive in an environment like this. You would see this thing go up, and you'd be able to short it right around here, straight down. You made $1 million in 1 minute because you're able to.
I mean, can you even get in fast enough to do that?
Oh yeah, people do it. There are strategies for that. I used to trade like that, looking at the tape and the order book and watching the liquidity clear out, and suddenly these sellers just come and slam it. Boom, you just straight into it. I've done this a fair bit. But with the way I trade nowadays, I don't want to do any of that anymore. And again, that stuff, I find it very tricky, very complex. I never used to put on real size on it because it's tricky.
Yeah, it's so fast.
Yeah, it's a high loss rate. But you have guys like Paras who'll do it all the time. He's watching the tape. He's waiting for it. He's just waiting. He knows the news is coming out. He'll wait for it to get to a certain place while that news happens. And he'll be able to watch the tape and watch a few massive algos just take over the price. You can tell when it's an algo or when it's a genuine retail trader. You know, you can see on the tape. And you just slam it. And then you go full size in an instant. And then 10 seconds later, you're already out. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm not that young anymore. I can't do it. I just get heartburn or heart issues, basically. See that? I can't trust any of this. It's still broken. It's still jumpy. It's still in the setup. I would look for now on a 30-minute. You can see that it did this consolidation down here especially, and then a breakout happened. It goes up and retests. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. You know, that retest on a 1 minute. It's like a false breakout, went back up, and there's nothing. It has to truly consolidate. Give me a descending wedge. Looks like it's going to break that low and then go. And then the target, man, that's halfway to target already. It's not even good. Forget about it. See what happens. There's nothing I would trade. I haven't seen a setup yet. Yesterday there was a good one in the first 5 minutes or so, which I easily could have taken. But I was just being very conservative with the news 30 minutes later. I don't think I have to be that conservative. You can give yourself 10 minutes before the news. I think that's fair. Before that, it should be fair game to go out and play. Anyways, see that the market is a gold mine, but the market's also very brutal. If you misbehave, it'll beat you. So please don't misbehave. Get AMD. Can you tell me a pattern here on AMD right now? Anything? Just overall now? It's here. Low, made a new high. Didn't make a new low. But what is all this? It's chopped. It's a mess. The SPY is the same. I mean, you can see the range over here in the first, 10 minutes? And then the range got wider. You have the low and the high got wider. This is not what you want to play with. It's just a mess. You want the range getting tighter. That's what sets up a good breakout. Things are diverging here. And as long as it behaves like this, I don't think I want to participate. What happened with Tesla? I haven't looked at it. Yeah. Failed that whole cup and handle sort of setup, and then straight back down here. So if you want on a 1 minute, you might think, okay, breakout happened, and here's a retest, it might go. What are we looking at? 30-minute? Oof, there's no way I would think about it long than 30-minute. No way. This buy, really, it has to get up there. 560, 191. There. And then that's where I think a good setup could be if this truly goes there. This down here turns into a false breakout, which is fun, going up. Ooh, I see that. That's a high a couple days ago. If it truly is weak, there's a reversal potential down here. Bounce and go, boom. Let's see. For now, just wants to go up. Tesla bouncing. That's interesting. What we got here? Yeah, and Hal, go ahead.
Hey, Avi, I got a question about this 30-minute chart that there was on SPY.
Yeah.
So let's say we're talking about the next level down, 557, 55, somewhere. There's a consolidation on a 30-minute. Would you say that clear price action will be below that if it confirms the short? Just because we see more clear. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Let me see. So this went, it was decently clean, just pull back and go. Yeah, I think this is good. This is not chop. This is decently clean, pull back and go. So yeah, below here it's pretty clean. Above there, you have nothing to look at really.
Either above 561.90 or below 557.55.
Yeah.
With the continuation, right?
Yes, that makes sense. I would look at
okay,
that.
I'm just making sure I'm looking the stuff right.
There's no right and wrong, man. It's all just perception.
Thank you.
You can get really trippy about what's right and wrong in this stuff, but there is no right and wrong. Risk management, that's what's right. Keeping your head on your shoulders, that's what's right. And it's another pretty sunset here. Look at that. Oh. Tesla, look at that. That's set up down there for a breakout. That's an interesting one. Comes down, consolidation, and go. It's interesting. It's not ideal, but it's interesting. It's what a reverse ABCD kind of looks like. High there. Next one lower. At least 1 minute pattern stuff is there. But again, careful with the 1 minute chart. You get a lot of false patterns or false setups. NVIDIA looks about the same. AMD's a disaster. So let's stop watching AMD. My eyes hurt. There we go. Reverse wedge. A descending wedge. Break down. Ideally, a break of the low, and you're on your way. Man, what a mess. Just can't trust it. Just can't trust anything. Did anyone get some good trades today? Anyone? Anything? I think it'd be very hard to catch anything. But what'd y'all do?
Nothing. Just sitting and waiting.
Yeah.
Same here.
Smart. This is the best, as in not the best. The most powerful thing you can do is sitting and waiting. This is where money is made, because basically money not lost in chop also counts in your P&L, right? So you don't have those negative entries in your P&L. That's a good thing. And this is the hardest part about this job. Actually, trading the open is the hardest thing. It's hard to watch it and not get involved, and then it's hard to understand that it's choppy after you get involved. It's actually the best time to watch and learn. And if you get some good setups, okay, you learn from that too. It really is the best. And I don't think I've missed the open in 6 years. I don't know, hardly. I've almost never missed the open. It truly is the best time to challenge yourself and earn your own trust.
Abby, I don't want to take Amazon, but I just want to analyze it and I want to get your opinion. It was a mental trade that I took, a ghost trade. If you look at the 30 minutes and then the last two candles of the pre-market, you see that it was consolidating, and then I was having the 189 as the low of the pre-market, and then it fake, and then now go back to 1 minute. So remember that 189 is the level, and then it went through and then goes back, a fake breakout, and then retest, and it went down. So if it broke 189, and then there was the Fibonacci level close to that one as well, and then I want to target 187.80 because that's the other level. Was it the right decision to take such a trade, or it was a random success?
That's a good one. You know what it is? You got to get your order of priorities right. Basically, get your priorities right is the point. What you want to think about is, we're working with levels here. So you got a line. Let's call this a level. For whatever reason, you got a level here. And that's your level of interest. As in when the price gets into this area, that's where you're interested for whatever your trade is, breakout, reversal, whatever. But just because it gets there and happens to go through or whatever, doesn't mean you get involved. You got to think of candlesticks first. So think of it this way. The levels are, when the price gets there, you actually should start waking up and paying attention. Before that, you can just goof around, watch YouTube, it doesn't matter. Only when it gets there. And then when it gets there, watch the candles. If you're watching it get here, big candle down, and then a big candle down, and a big candle down, you're trying to enter the breakdown as it's happening. You're not watching the candles. Really,
No, I
what
was not. I was not in that one. The next one. Go to the
out here.
955. Yes, that one. Entering
we'll get
that
to that.
one. Enter that one. There. Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean. We'll get to that in a moment. I'm sure. Show
Okay.
you
Okay. Got it. Got it. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're seeing these big candles go through your area of interest, and it's 189, but realistically, it's not 189. It's an area around 189. That's important. And so you're watching this thing go big candle goes through. You're entering short area stop. I don't know where up there. You don't even know where to put it at this point because the candle's so big. And it starts to go. Okay, fine, it goes. But realistically, when you're doing that, what you're really doing is you're not watching the candles. You're not watching the price action. And by order of priorities, I mean price action is first. Once you decide that it's in the area of your level and you switch your brain on, the first thing you should look at is the price action, as in the candlestick or the tape, whatever you like to look at, however you look at price actions. And in this case, you're watching price action here. It's just on the run. You're trying to catch a moving train. You're going to hurt yourself doing that. Don't do that. Right? Because what you really should have is some sort of consolidation, 3 or 4 candles, descending wedge, reverse ABCD, something, and then you'll get a good breakout. This turned out to be a false breakout. You know why? Because it already ran 3 big candles in a row. What do you think is going to happen after that? It's going to pull back, of course. Obviously, it's going to happen. That's like a rule of thumb. 3 big ones, and it goes the other way. That happens all the time. Now, so you don't want to look at just levels blindly, and it's going through. You want to look at what is it doing in the vicinity of that level, and so that again requires patience, like 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever. It takes a while. So then let's see, this thing, false breakout because it went back in, bouncing off of the bottom there. That's interesting. That's like maybe this was truly a false breakout and this might go long. This is interesting. So let's say you call this a false breakout and a retest what was the breakout area. You identify a long, you put your stop right below the price action. Again, price action, not below the level, but the price action. Happens to be that the price action was at the level. So you put it basically below the candlestick. And it may have worked, may have not. All right, if that's your strategy. Now, going the other way, again, that one didn't work. Now, going the other way, what you're seeing is it's coming back down, right? Goes through the level and, well, pushes up and then goes through the level. You may look at this wick as a tiny little retest of that tiny little consolidation. Again, tiny, right? It's not easy to read. This is complicated. Again, zooming out a bit, you're looking at what is the price doing in the vicinity of the level. And really all it's doing is it's moving rapidly. It's going down, it's going up, it's going down. If you're trying to enter stuff that's doing this, most of the time you're going to get hurt. You might get lucky a few times, but most of the time you're going to get hurt. You really want to enter when the candles get small. You see the small one here, the small one here? When you have like 10 of those or 5 of those in the same place, that's a consolidation. Now you can anticipate a good breakout and a good retest. And sure enough, look at this. Went down, went up, went down. What is it doing now? It's a disaster. I don't know what to tell you about this. Why would you play with this, So again, just because it's at a level doesn't mean you should trade it. You should look at it, look at what it's doing at the level. If it's behaving well at the level, then you should get interested. Otherwise, don't look at it. Go do something else, or go look at something else. So I think that's the key point. And not necessarily respecting the level, but at least respecting the area. It's not even respecting the area. Look at it, just going through it. That's a mess, right? So, for example, if you identified a good short, it consolidated, it broke down. If you enter the short here, you wouldn't put the stop on the other side of the level. You're looking at the price action. You put a stop on the other side of the price action, above that entry candle, perhaps up here, something like that, for an example. So again, going back to order of priorities, the first priority is price action at the area of the level. So if the price action is behaving well, then you start thinking about putting on some risk, putting on a trade. But of course, then you only do it at a level, in a zone, in an area of a level, somewhere in there. But this is not respecting anything here. This is what is it respecting? I can't find any consistency in this. So that's how I think about it, and see if you can think about it that way. If you're reading the tape, you might find a long here, you'll partial out, then you'll reverse it, go short here. I mean, you go long, I don't know, somewhere in this area. But that's if you're tape reading and you're doing all that, again, hyperactive overtrading stuff. If you're good at that, do that. But that's not what I like to do.
No.
Yeah, I used to do that. So.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
No, sorry.
So this is a good example of not trading it even though it's at your level, basically. The spies are turning into a mess again. Wow. What happened to this chart? 31 minutes. There we go. That's good. What are we looking at? I got SPY charts. Tesla workout. Tesla disaster, huh? I still see nothing. I can trade, but I can't see a setup. There's no news or anything in my way.
Got a job then in Tesla taking short.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you should come back at your webinar and then make another 200K.
Oh shit! Yeah, start webinars every day. Every time I do a webinar,
Yeah. Let's just have a webinar every day.
Oh man. Well, we have a private webinar today, so that's scheduled for 11.
Okay, I just send a text before you take the 2,000 contracts. Maybe you're moving the market. We'll jump in.
I am still small pennies in the market. It looks big as an individual, but it's nothing. It's penny. It's nothing. The IRS doesn't even take notice. They won't even like, well, it's not even worth chasing this guy. He can't even pay enough tax. Until you can pay $10 million in taxes, they're not going to chase you. At that point, you're making $100 million. I mean, that's something else. Oh man. Oli, you want to look at Apple? All right, let's look at it. Fucking Tesla, fucking stock market. The market pisses me off half the time. I sit here and waste my life looking at this thing. All right. Oli, what do you want to know about Apple? What do you think about Apple before I say anything? I'm looking at this 30-minute thing.
A lot of VIX has teeth.
Yeah. This thing's got teeth. This thing want to bite. This thing's hungry, and it's going to eat anything that comes in its way. Don't touch it. Like, even without levels, again, this is the kind of stuff that should hurt your eyes. So you don't look at it. That's a 30-minute. Let's go to the 1 minute. Found momentum early on, and then what? It's got teeth. Again, fractal patterns, right? Very simple. It's got teeth on a 30-minute. What do you expect it's going to have on the 1 minute? Yeah, it's got teeth. Why would you play with this? Just don't. It's not going to be clean until it gets the hell out of this area with teeth.
So you only trade it when it's outside of all the messy stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to get into a mess. I like my environment nice and clean, clear. I don't want to get into a mess. Think of it that way. Yeah. Yeah, Dave, go ahead.
Hey, Avi, good morning.
Morning.
The way okay, everybody say okay, 6-figure days, but they don't look at how much risk you're putting into that.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. It's risk. These are 4R trades, 5R trades, 3R trades. So let's say you make $150,000, and that's 3R. How much risk did you actually put on to begin with?
See, same way you're putting okay 10,000 in a position and okay expecting 2,000-3,000 return. So it is the same thing. You're putting a lot of risk into it. And that's the RBR coming from that. So you're putting big numbers to get big numbers.
Yeah, but really, you should keep the numbers the same. As in, don't change the numbers. Don't stop thinking in terms of dollars. Think in terms of percentages or RVR. 3-to-1, 5-to-1, 10-to-1. That's RVR.
What I'm saying. Your RVR is like that.
Yeah, keep the RVR high as you can. I mean, I think recently my RVR hasn't been that great. I haven't, just because of all the de-risking stuff I've been doing. So I'm ending up with a lot of 4R kind of numbers, 4R, maybe 5R sometimes. But realistically, a lot of these trades should be in the 10R range. So if it's $200,000, you make 10R. Well, that means you risk 20K to make that 200K. That makes sense to me. 10R is what makes sense to me. Whatever, you risk $5, $100, $10,000, whatever you like. Whatever, that's up to you. But think of RVR, think of percentages, think of probabilities. You get lost in these dollar numbers, and dollars will subconsciously start relating to that Ferrari thing or that mortgage or that. Your head goes into all kinds of places, which is unhealthy. You shouldn't be. You should. Whenever you catch yourself thinking about dollars that way, when you're trading, and that's when you got to step away and go clear your head, come back and start thinking clearly again. Otherwise,
Yep.
Yeah. That's important. I've done that many times. Oh man, I've hurt myself. Yeah, Gaten, go ahead.
So if you're trading breakout and retests, do you need to see a consolidation, obviously? Do you need to see it on a 30-minute or a 1 minute?
Both 30-minute first, And then if it happens on a 1 minute, that's ideal as well. I mean, I'm looking for both. That's the fractal pattern, right? Remember, fractal patterns are, you see a pattern on a bigger picture and you zoom in, you see the same pattern, even at a smaller scale. It looks identical. That's a fractal pattern, right? Like that fractal pattern video I was showing in the webinar yesterday, a couple days ago. I've done it many times.
The pattern can be as simple as just a consolidation.
Yeah, often it is. Very often it is. A lot of my trades are that way.
The consolidation or the pattern on the 1 minute needs to happen at the same place as the pattern on the 30 minute, or the same level then in this case.
Yeah, exactly. That level that you're interested in. So actually there's a good example here on the SPY. It hasn't happened yet, but I'll show you. If you look at it, this consolidation happened. It just dropped into a false breakout. Now when it comes up here, any of these candles come up, the 30-minute candle, it gets up here, then I'll get into the 1 minute. Here it is right now, but where is it? Up here. The 1 minute candle gets up here and it gives me 2 or 3 candles just sitting up here, or ascending wedge, basically an ABCD pattern. I'll be getting ready to get interested and go long in that. To me, that's a consolidation happening here. And you know it's going to happen because why? Look at 30 minutes, it's happened already. It's happened already. So it's going, when it gets there, what does it want to do? It wants to consolidate. You know, and then if the breakout happens now, that's tremendous. That becomes explosive. And that's where I really want to get involved.
And do you still wait for a retest then of that breakout, or do you just trade a breakout then because it consolidated before?
I like retests. I like retests because they tend to, you can put tighter stops and there's more conviction with those. And again, breakouts are momentum plays where they go and momentum's done and it comes back and bounces off where it broke out from. And then that's the beginning of a genuine trend most of the time. The retest is really a bigger move than the breakout. The breakout is just a bit of momentum, really. People getting excited and making this thing jump, or mostly algos these days. Okay. But yeah, the real trend begins after the retest of the breakout, confirming the breakout. Because the breakout is, you see, here it's resistance. Then it breaks out of resistance, and it has to come back and bounce off what was resistance, confirming that it is no longer resistance. Now it's turned into support. Then you can really trust the level. The best levels are the ones that flipped orientation. They were support, then they turned resistance, or the other way around. See, it got here now. Expect it to be resistance because that's what it is. And then, you know, ideally now it consolidates, then it breaks out, then it comes back and bounces off, and that's when it can really put on the size for the big move. There you go, resistance right there.
And for example, your trade from yesterday, how did that manifest then in case of these, or wasn't it a breakout and retests? Maybe it's another setup from yesterday.
I don't remember what it was yesterday. I was probably in this area. I don't even know. Let's look at it in our next session, which will start now in about 30 minutes.
Okay.
11. Yeah, we'll get into a few things. Put it in our Discord forum that we got now for the questions you want to look at in our
Yes.
and then we can go through those one by one. That'll make it easy.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I think yesterday was a continuation of a reversal.
Yeah, I think it was, right? Yeah, the reversal down here and then continued up or something. I think it was in this area. Hardly remember now.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys, shall we end this one here and then we'll get into it in about 30 minutes. I'll put a new link out there. That'll start a new recording and we'll get into our session. So at least we all get a little break. Go get some coffee, go do whatever you need to do.
Sorry, Avi, is it at 11 or is it 12? Sorry.
11, today 11.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, 11. So in 30 minutes. All right, guys? Come on in there,
All right.
and then we'll get into more stuff.
Thanks, Avi.
All right, see you then.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry, Avi, like, so what time is the webinar?
11 today, 30 minutes.
And our candlestick session?
That's the candlestick session. Candle light session. Bring a candle, light it up, you know.
Yeah, and we will all light up our brains.
Yes. Explosions.
Hey, thanks, Avi.
Thanks.
See you there, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.